Okay, welcome everybody. We are on the week focusing on Facebook for Business and social media management at University of Florida, and I'm very excited to welcome some special expert guests. We have Alex Houg and we have Dennis Yu, and they're with Portage, and they are experts when it comes to not just Facebook, but also using social media from a conversion standpoint, and they're also helping to teach college students how to get into the workforce and be specialist in social media. And Alex, I'll let you explain a little bit more about the philosophy behind Portage.
Great. So with Portage, it is like the idea of moving from one body of water to another, and the same is true for the two avenues that we're looking to change the industry and the education system as well. So for digital marketing, we're looking to create a massive change from just where businesses are using traditional marketing now and just going to these new things where it's actually driving business results with digital. The second part is creating jobs for college students and opportunities for these students as well, getting real-world experience and getting to work on clients in their passion area. And this is where we connect the two. So all of our clients then become available to students that qualify so that they can work on businesses, get real-world experience, and get to do things in their passion area. And this is where the two get connected. And that's the philosophy behind Portage, and it is a reflection of our Minnesota roots as well. So.
That's awesome. So I think everybody that's here viewing this interview probably is familiar with Facebook from a personal standpoint, but the flip side of Facebook on the business side is a whole different ballgame. In some ways, and in some ways, a lot of the best practices and strategies that one should look at applying to your personal Facebook page can also be applied to best practices from a business standpoint. So let's just get right into some questions here. And Alex, I'll start with you. So why Facebook? There's so many different social media networks right now. If you're a social media manager, why should Facebook be the focus, and maybe why should you avoid Facebook as a focus?
Facebook is a great place, a great community. They have a huge user base and a lot of data. The other social networks, that's something that they're lacking, but Facebook is just a part of an overall strategy because you need to have all of your audiences and things tied together, whether that's your website and your email list. But Facebook is a place where you can get purchase data. It can tie back to a user ID. So from a business standpoint, you can get as much targeted data as is out there right now compared to any other network, Google included.
So I think one of the important things from a social media management standpoint is to make sure that you're in the right network, you're in the right social media network where your target audience is actually participating in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so targeting and making sure that your audience is in the Facebook community if you're going to be using Facebook. What are some other reasons to use Facebook?
With Facebook, it comes back to the amount of data that's there, but it's just another avenue and a part of your overall marketing strategy. So there's the micro-targeting. We'll talk about micro-targeting in terms of PR and workplace targeting. And from a mechanical standpoint, it's built pretty soundly, and that would be the overall thing. Now, Facebook is segmenting their different products out. They're not making one empire of forcing everyone on Facebook. They're expanding out into Instagram and WhatsApp, and that's another beautiful thing that they're doing, is not just forcing everyone into one thing, but customizing the experience they'd like to have, whether that's on mobile or on their desktop or computer.
So one interesting concept is paying to be on Facebook. So if you're a business and you have a Facebook page, it's become more and more difficult, almost impossible to get exposure without having to pay to play. So can you address this and explain to us what that really means?
So paid and organic, and what I mean by organic is when you're posting on the page and then your stuff shows up in the news feed. It is a pay-to-play game. Facebook is obviously a publicly traded company. They have to generate revenue, but organic and paid can go tied together because as you amplify your content to the right audience, it'll increase your organic, so more and more people will start seeing your stuff organically, and we've seen this consistently across it. Now, people that are familiar with SEO know that Google AdWords or PPC does not correlate to SEO. Well, it's not true inside of Facebook. With Facebook, when you pay, to get more exposure, to amplify your content to the right people. It can give you a boost in organic. So it's a strategy that both need to be tied together because one will help another.
So it's a win-win when it's done right.
Absolutely. You need to tie those two together, both organic and paid.
And just from going to the conferences, we hear from the different business professionals that are in the workforce and on the front lines using social media, using Facebook. A lot of times it's church and state. So advertising is somewhat, or the perception is advertising departments should be controlling any type of social advertising. But really, I just want to get the point across how important it is for the social media managers to be involved in the advertising part of social.
Absolutely, and it comes back to content. Social is just an extension of content marketing and making sure that everything that you're producing in terms of your business or even in your personal lives, that it's getting pushed out and amplified to the right people. So those two should live and work together. Your content, it's not, oh, our paid and our organic is separate, because they work together in conjunction.
So basically, the content that you put up, even if you're going to pay for it, it still needs to be good quality content.
Always, it comes down to great content, especially in social, because people aren't going to create a social endorsement around something that isn't good. They're not going to click like, which then creates what we define as a story in the news feed. So so-and-so liked this, so-and-so commented, so-and-so shared. If it's not good, it's not going to get that trust or that interaction.
How fast does Facebook change?
Facebook is constantly changing, and we're part of the preferred marketing developers group, so we know these constant changes, both on the back end and some of the front end UI changes that come out, and they're always constantly testing and changing. They start a lot of their testing over in New Zealand because it's a smaller English-speaking market, and then they'll roll out to the US a few weeks after they do the testing there, but it's always constant changing inside of the groups in Facebook.
What type of content right now, as we're having this interview, what type of content do you see working and not working on Facebook?
In terms of what you're posting, you can roll out and do a mix of all types of content. We've obviously seen over the past several years even that pictures and photos work well, and even rotating some of that content. We know someone, I believe Twig the Fairy, they rotate through 250 different posts, and a majority of those are inspirational images and even amplifying some of that content. And that's another great thing, is knowing that you can repurpose existing content as well. As, oh, I don't know what to create. You can use some of the same stuff and repackage it up, and then just continue to amplify that and show that to your top fans.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I thought my volume turned down. Okay, and as far as the different types of content that is working and not working, what type of content just doesn't work anymore? It's just done.
It's a good question.
Because I hear at conferences, just to give you an example, so status updates without an image, those are done, but Dennis, who's going to come on and talk about targeting, micro-targeting, did some experiments where it does work. So is there such thing as this type of content doesn't work and this type of content definitely does work?
I'm going to pass that question to Dennis, so I'm going to mute my mic here, and then Dennis can take this.
Hi.
Hi, Dennis.
Hey, Lisa. So it's not about necessarily what content is working or not. What matters is what the goal is. And so we like to talk about this 3-campaign system where you have audience, engagement, and conversion. If you're trying to sell in this orange to get people to buy, if you put my screen up, you'll see this, then you need to say sales-related items. If you're trying to engage, which is getting people to like, comment, share, collect an email, watch the video, right? That's a different kind of content. And if you're trying to build awareness because people have never eaten at your restaurant, they've never bought your soft drink, they've never gotten their car fixed at your auto place, they've never hired you to fix their teeth or build your house or whatever it is, right? That is other kinds of word of mouth. So the problem is not that certain techniques work, because we said Facebook changes and things change all the time. It's what content is aligned with each of these particular goals. So every business is going to have a set of business goals. So you, as a social media manager, have to think, all right, I need to attach business goals in each of these areas in the blue, green, and orange. Of course, you want to drive sales, but you have to build a relationship, and this is what we talk about with content marketing, which is building familiarity and getting people to know who you are, kind of like the dating process, right? You're not going to get married. Okay, everyone wants to get married, but you're not going to get married on that first date. So if you're thinking from a social standpoint, the etiquette that you know when you hang out with your friends at school, when you hang out, at church or in the grocery store or playing pickup co-ed soccer or whatever it is, right? What are those kinds of rules, and how does it apply to social? It's the same thing for business. So it's not that, okay, there's a new product ads and you can have multiple images, or you should not use the call to action button, or you shouldn't try to sell too hard because people don't like that in social, or you're posting too many times per day. See, all of those rules will change, and those are kind of, beat the system tricks, but we don't believe in tricks. A lot of it is just very simple.
And I think, Dennis, that brings up another good point is, as if you're going to be a social media manager, we hear this all the time at conferences, and also with clients. It's very realistic to think that your boss, whether it's the vice president of marketing or the director of marketing or the CEO, all that boss is going to want to know is what's going to convert. They're going to want to see conversions. And it's the challenge to the social media manager to educate the boss or the staff on that process that you just walked us through, that it also involves engagement and building awareness and building community before you can actually get to the conversion state.
Right, exactly.
Kind of like with public relations, everybody wants the front page story in the Wall Street Journal, and it's a process to get there. And there's Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so with that, I'm gonna end this session, part one, and then the next part two, we're going to get into more details about the micro-targeting part of Facebook and what the data means and what we should really be looking at and caring at. And it looks like you guys are having way too much fun here. We want to go work for you. Okay, so we'll be back. Thank you.